How'd you get here so quickly?
What? Today, we're gonna learn about leitmotifs from Sonic. Now, personally, I've never heard any Sonic music before. I more than likely have in passing, but I've never sat down and really observed or listened to it intently. However, I do enjoy myself some game OSTs, and quite often listen to the OSTs for Three Houses, Punishing Gray Raven, as well as the Nier series. I'm not musically inclined, so if you're looking for a perspective from somebody who's like a music producer or something like that, this definitely ain't the video, but I most certainly want to learn more about music. It would be really nice if I could add some of these songs to my playlist. Add a little bit more variety, you know, so if you guys have any suggestions for music tracks that I should check out in my own time, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Also, as a side note, if you notice me pausing more often than usual, it's because I recently recovered from completely losing my voice. I'm trying my best, but speaking is still quite tiring for me. So I apologize if it ends up being a bit annoying, but I'll do my best to edit it all together. Hopefully I'll be back at full capacity soon, so hang tight, my dudes. But of course, as always, before we begin the reaction, please make sure to go support the OG video. Link to that is at the very top of the description, as always.
If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have.
With such an edgy line, it has to be Shadow, right? Yeah, there you go.
Nothing can stop you now. No ghost to bring you down. There's nothing left to lose. You win.
Oh man, music is so beautiful. There is a ton of leitmotif usage in the Three Houses OST, and it all comes together to create a more cohesive story. From somebody who is very musically literate, they're able to pick it apart and see the evolution of the story just simply based off of the music itself. Personally, I wish I was that gifted, but it'll take some time. We're trying to do our best with the Guilty Gear OST with some mixed results. But I definitely think that video game OSTs are underappreciated. Well, the term is kind of relative. Depends on the person you ask. I just think they should be more appreciated.
Hey, look at me. I know big music theory words and terminology, and I'm gonna say shit you don't understand so it makes you feel smarter. Listen, man, none of that shit. Who said you need to have a basic surface level understanding of something to make a video about it? I'll just pretend I do. You're gonna believe me anyway. Nothing complicated. Basically, you have your...
He's kind of memeing about it, but to be fair, when it comes to making content on YouTube, you kind of just have to have a slightly more well-researched base of knowledge than the person who is your target audience. And that's really enough to make a video about something. Obviously, you don't claim to be an expert, but I think that's one of the biggest things that holds a lot of people back from making YouTube videos. You don't gotta be the best at something to help somebody learn something new, you know? Or, like say in the case of a reaction video like this, providing your unique perspective adds value to the video. But it's usually when people don't provide their unique perspective and sometimes even just leave their chair to react to a video where it becomes very questionable.
theme, right? Then you have a motif, which is the small part of song that stands out. You know,
Yup.
And what we'll get is a musical phrase that we can attribute to anything we want. An object, an event, a place, an idea, or a person. And then we can use that motif throughout the story to convey anything we want to the audience. Then boom, there's your leitmotif. It's not exactly the same though, it usually changes a little bit, but I'm gonna show you one to keep it simple and easy to read, okay? We're good? Okay, let's go. A character leitmotif like...
I feel like it's more of an idea or a suggestion. Oh god. But I think the evolution of the leitmotif is also quite significant when you're trying to convey the change that is currently going on with the character, the events, or whatever have you that's currently going on within the story.
Like this is really common. So let's start with everybody's favorite Sonic character, Infinite.
Speed stupid bopping. Oh yeah, you can hear it. It's just like a layer beneath. This one's more faint, but yeah, it's there.
Sometimes it's not even a theme song thing, it's just association. Like, look at Metal Sonic. Dude is so heavily affiliated with Stardust Speedway that when you hear those... What the fuck? Sorry. Oh yeah, those. You automatically think of metal.
Oh hell yeah. Stardust Speedway, was it? Want to check it out. No! Man, it's so fascinating how you can take this idea and recontextualize it, but still convey the same thing. In this case, which is Metal Sonic. Later. Oh, wait a minute. I think I've heard that before. Once again, another wonderful thing about music. It really jogs my memory. Not sure if that's the case for everybody. This immediately launched me way back when, I think it was like 2013, 2014. Playing on my Wii, I think I had this game called like Mario and Sonic Winter Olympics. And that was like the main theme for that game. Which now makes a whole lot more sense.
First time I heard this, I thought it was just so cool. It almost made me forget what I was looking at. What the fuck are you doing here? Primary leitmotif for Sonic Forces is Fist Bump, not representing any specific character, but the game itself. But maybe it is for a character. Ooh, wait a minute, maybe I'm alluding to something here, and I should watch the whole video to find out what. Mystery, foreshadowing, ooh. First leitmotif in the history of Sonic. No, not really. See, the issue with calling this thing a leitmotif in the first place is that it never changes. It's the same repeating 8 notes over and over again, doesn't matter where you are, what's happening in the story, what kind of water it is, it's the same one. And the whole thing about a leitmotif is that it's flexible. That's like the best thing about it. Like, let me show you, look at everybody's favorite Sonic character, the Deadly Six. So for absolutely just no fucking reason, they decided to go off with these guys in the music department, of course, nothing else. Now this Zeddy leitmotif represents the Deadly Six, obviously the entire team. But what they do is that every time Sonic meets one of the Zeddy for the first time, their theme plays, and every single one of them uses the Zeddy leitmotif in their own unique style.
Ooh. Wow, Yeah, it gives their characters so much personality while still remaining consistent and conveying that they're all part of the same team. Like I said earlier, it's amazing how you can recontextualize all this stuff. I definitely think there's a part of your brain where even if you don't consciously realize it, like, I don't know exactly how this went. This was probably quite apparent that they were all on the same side, but that extra association that your brain would make on its own is definitely there because of the music.
So you see how they took this one thing and stretched it all throughout the entirety of the game? That's why leitmotifs are so fucking goated. So no, I wouldn't say the drowning theme is the first one we got. It's more of a motif anyway. See, I'm still pretending I know what I'm talking about. You actually don't even have to go that far for the first one. In fact, you don't even need to go anywhere.
Have we always used the same theme? That's awesome.
And this would be the first case of a character leitmotif. Aside from the occasional robot, they didn't really do leitmotifs back then. Instead, Sonic games did this really cool thing where each character has a specific genre of music associated with them. Amy's pop, Sonic's rock, Knuckles' is rap, all that.
Oh, that's so cool. I do love this idea of having a different genre associated with each character. It really helps separate, maybe more so identify, like, who's currently there, what's currently going on, even if you don't have the visuals. Which means that if you also add the visuals to it, it's simply enhances the entire experience. Serby and I recently got together to watch the Spider-Verse movies, and if you guys have seen those movies, each character pretty much has their own theme to them. Apart from, obviously, their own unique animation style as well, which is like an incredible feat that they're all able to fit on the same screen. But the music in those movies goes so hard. And that's kind of what I'm imagining the similar association is currently going on with the Sonic characters.
Jazz. Which was Rouge. Rouge was all that jazz. Nothing that we would really call a leitmotif. They really started doing them when Tomoyo Ohtani became sound director with 06. Ever since then, leitmotifs have been way more prominent in Sonic games. Now, we're gonna be talking about 4 of them that I think excel at what they do, all of which composed mainly by Ohtani, except one. Our first leitmotif is this one, the one you're hearing right now. I call it the Night of the Winds because that's what it's called. It's the first song you hear and it represents Sonic. I know, what? That's crazy. But it doesn't just play whenever he's on screen. As per the game itself, there's a theme here. Every time Sonic does something chivalrous, you can hear the leitmotif.
Only death can remove this stain upon my honor.
Give me a break! What's up with all this drama?
Silence! Silence, I say! A knight who fails their king is unfit to live.
Isn't there more to being a knight than just serving a king?
Huh? Percival! Yikes!
You have mastered the code
mix-up
of chivalry. From this day forth, you shall be Sir Sonic, Knight of the Wind.
It's really fucking sick how this story about Sonic's knighthood goes against what he believes himself to be. Like, he doesn't strive to be a hero or a knight, he just is. And he goes, yeah man, whatever. It's kind of like how he doesn't want to be known.
Well, from the last ALtheBoi reaction that we did, we learned how flexible the cast for Sonic can be, and how Sonic as a character is just this driving force in pretty much any story that you can put him into, because Sonic is just, he's him. I personally can't think of any other cast of characters where they use their characters in the way that Sonic does. I guess the closest thing I can think of is Mario, but it's not quite the same feeling, because like ultimately it's still a Mario game, at least in my mind. But Sonic you can just put into any story.
Known as the true King Arthur by the end of it. Speaking of...
All right, Professor. Work your magic.
I am immortal. You cannot defeat me.
Bro. No!
And of course, Merlina. The most prominent leitmotif throughout the entire game, all leading up to the final boss, With Me. Not With Me, the song is called With Me.
Oh, okay.
My eyes are filled with curiosity. You think that you have power over me.
Now, this is what's called thematic transformation, where the composer, Jun Tsunoi in this case, changes the music in a way that you can still recognize that it's Merlina's theme, but thematically altered to showcase a change in her character. Instead of giving off sorrow and sadness, it gives anger and evil. And this is perfect for Merlina because on the surface, With Me is just some generic evil banger, but in context, it's literally just about this girl who's so terrified of death, she's transformed herself into this unrecognizable monster.
Why do flowers bloom, knowing they are destined to wither?
Huh?
Their time of beauty is so short-lived.
You gotta love how she's having, like, this existential crisis, and then Sonic is like, huh? What are you talking about? You don't make this way too complicated. And honestly, as humans, we kinda do. Although, I don't know if Marlene is human. She looks more like an elf. But now, all this makes me super curious. What exactly goes on in the music director's room? Like, do you come up with the leitmotif first in order to signify the character? And then from there, try to evolve it based on what the story requires? I'd love to actually see the process, but I also feel like it's one of those things where the end result is a lot more exciting than the actual sitting and thinking it up, than making it into an actual piece of music. Same theme.
There was never any King Arthur.
Huh?
Well done. And thank you, Sonic.
This kingdom will fail one way or another, such as its
her voice
fate.
changed.
Huh?
Huh? Okay, we gotta be doing this on purpose. Poor Sonic. He doesn't get any lines.
At its core, it's fear. It's fear, confusion, feeling lost, and not knowing what to do. And Sonic...
very human emotions. We all go through it. We're all just a mess. And I think it's good to be a mess, because then that means that you're actually living.
Knows this. That's why the theme that follows the boss fight isn't some triumphant piece where he's all happy-go-lucky, but a direct answer to Merlina.
Well, there you go.
You ask that question, you get a bunch of different answers. Some might say the original title theme from Sonic 1, or it doesn't matter, his world reached for the stars, not in the wind, or just straight up Green Hill. And from what I've noticed,
I feel like the answer to this is going to be yes. With how malleable Sonic is and is able to fit into any story, I think his theme is going to mold in order to fit the themes of that story. Or just like the example that was given here, to be a direct answer to another character's theme.
This only happens with Sonic. Like, no one's out here arguing over what Knuckles or Tails' themes are. It's only him. Is that bad? Like, yeah, sure. Sonic not having a consistent theme makes it very hard to have scenes with the same emotional resonance as whenever All Hail Shadow plays.
chaos control!
Another shadow? He just disappeared.
Especially when you consider how almost every other franchise has that one melody everyone recognizes. Like the fact that you're thinking of Zelda right now because I played the thing. You know, gotta admit, it's pretty fucking cool. But consider this, right? Trust me, I'm doing something cool here. So
there's definitely pros and cons to both situations. When it comes to something like the Zelda theme, whenever it plays during, you know, those moments, it really hits you like a truck. Especially if Zelda as a franchise is something that you've been playing ever since you were a kid, and that nostalgia wave and all those memories that you associate with the Zelda franchise comes flowing into you. That is most certainly the main benefit of having a consistent theme throughout your entire IP. But I think that's also something that requires time in order to really embed itself into the player. If in the case of Sonic, his theme isn't consistent throughout all the games, that just means that you picking up whatever game that you're playing can still associate whatever theme is associated with Sonic to Sonic in the context of that game and just have a full and complete experience. Or for maybe a more clear example of this, something like the Master Sword. For those who have played all the Zelda games, whenever they saw the reveal of the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild, it hits them like a truck. Whereas for anybody who's picking up Zelda for the first time in Breath of the Wild, they'll see a pretty cool sword. It just doesn't mean the same thing. But obviously, I don't know too much yet about all the Sonic games. Perhaps there is a consistent thing that carries over that isn't just Sonic, and well, the entire cast.
Sonic doesn't have a consistent theme, because no one theme represents Sonic. He's just built different, right? He's that guy. He's also a guy that's defined by his adventures. So what?
Actually, yeah. Because of how we've characterized Sonic, the guy who's free-flowing, free-running, at least in my mind, I kind of associate him with the wind. I wouldn't really expect such a being to have a consistent theme.
If every game's main theme represents both Sonic and the adventure he embarks on in that game. Night of the Winds is Sonic's stoicism. It doesn't matter is Sonic's philosophy on everything. Sonic Heroes is the bonds of friendship and camaraderie he's made throughout his life. Fist Bump is the same thing but less cool. It also works in favor of Sonic being a great static character. The story is almost never about him, but as the main character, he gets to be the avatar for the theme. And every time there's a leitmotif for it, it represents the main themes of the story and him. So, what is Sonic's theme?
Yes.
All of them. His world plays all throughout Sonic 06 as Sonic's leitmotif, with 2 different variations and not 1, not 2, 14 different versions. 06's soundtrack is fucking insane, buckle in. This was Otani's first time as sound director and the first game that would really go crazy with leitmotifs. I already showed you one at the beginning. They took All Hail Shadow, Shadow's true hero theme from Shadow the Hedgehog, and made it even more heroic. This is Shadow, at his peak. No cloud of judgment, no one to let him stray. The ultimate life form at his most ultimate. Raw. Based. Peak Vic. And of course you gotta end.
What the heck? Shadow's the ultimate life form? When I did my reaction to the Sonic 06 video, a lot of people were like, bro, why did you choose this as the first video that you did? Honestly, I kinda did it for the meme, but looking back on it now, I kind of appreciate that that was my first video because that game had so many things to it that were so incredible and so many other things that were very much not good. But from the ashes of that train wreck of a game, there are so many things that have carried over into future games that we see now. And now I just appreciate it more because it had basically built the basis for all of the leitmotifs that we have in Sonic. Well, that's not true. More so that the music director got to flex and try out a lot of stuff and hone his craft during that game.
And the trio with my boy Silver, and the way they decided to go about it is fucking beautiful. See, throughout the game, Silver is portrayed as this hard-ass, angry dude on a mission, just constantly yelling and being weird.
Oh, what the f-
With small moments of peace sprinkled throughout, where he's allowed to let his guard down and be himself. just some confused kid in something way bigger than him, wanting to do the right thing. And it's in these moments where you can hear his leitmotif.
What's wrong?
To kill someone to save the world. Is that really the right thing to do?
You're so naive.
Whether it's right or wrong, I can't really say.
I can't! Wouldn't know what to do without you alongside me to save the world. You're my friend, right?
You're still so naive.
It could also point to his relationship with Blaze given the lyrics. I don't know, the point is, we hear it every time Silver is at his most vulnerable. It really just goes to show how he wouldn't even hurt a fly if he didn't think he had to. Just a desperate and confused soul.
Until we get to this. This is certainly not desperate and confused. I don't truly have the right words to describe what exactly those the leitmotifs for Silver made me feel, but with the added context, yes, perfectly. It does convey this feeling of, I guess, tenderness with a tad bit of uncertainty, which honestly is something I think a lot of people can relate to. I can imagine myself playing Sonic 06. Well, not really, but let's, for example, say that I was playing a Sonic 06, and then we got to that cutscene, and that theme played. I definitely think the theme itself would sell me on Silver's character if a previous event already didn't do so.
Boo. You can hear Mephis' whisper whenever things are going his way.
Oh, how ironic fate can be. I would never have believed I would be resurrected through your shade. I thank you, Shadow.
Mephis!
So haunting. Mix-up.
In other words, you hear it all the damn time. Whether he's got 2 Chaos Emeralds on him or is manipulating someone, his leitmotif symbolizes him always having the upper hand.
Let us punish this foolish world of humanity. It's only fair to give back what was intended for you. You have every right to want justice.
Man, it's such a good villain theme, though. It conveys all that it needs to convey in so few notes.
That's absurd. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do it alone.
You forgive humanity this folly, then?
I determine my own destiny.
And then the shift. Oh, beautiful. There it is.
Shadow is so fucking cool.
I am Dr. Eggman. And to take the miracle gems that are the key to its secret, the Chaos Emerald.
We're gonna be hearing this again very soon. This shit is iconic, it's versatile, it works no matter the tone, it's in every game past this, and I hope they never get rid of it. Ah, for fuck's sake.
Miss Elise! I cannot allow harm to come to my people.
The story of Elise is a story of responsibility. On top of ruling her big-ass kingdom, she's also cursed to lock her emotions in and never cry. That's what the leitmotif represents. And it starts the second she has to burden that responsibility. Because her father just had to play God, and now she has to pay for it.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. The story is so tragic, and there are so many good moments in it. Fortunately, it was just bogged down by a lot of other stuff. Considering what she's going through, it's no wonder why it reminds me of Princess Zelda's theme. I mean, yeah, it makes sense because they're basically in the exact same position, and they have this weight of responsibility on them that they're not sure they're going to be able to handle.
That's a good girl, Elise. Remember, be brave. Don't cry, no matter what happens. Otherwise, you're damned.
Yeah, this version of the leitmotif, it really emphasizes that weight. You can just feel it pressing down on your shoulders. I don't know if it's the right word to describe it, but the music just feels heavy. And is it a choir? Or is that an organ? I don't know musical instruments. But it makes sense why in this scene there's a sense of deep sorrow attached to it.
Become a strong queen. Doesn't cry, no matter what happens.
So this leitmotif should represent something horrible, right? You think we hear it every time she's close to crying or has to be reminded of her responsibilities, and that would be the case if it wasn't for him.
Elise, just smile.
Recontextualize it.
By befriending Elise, Sonic recontextualizes Don't Cry into Smile. It's the same general idea and it's not the best advice, but spending time with Sonic has enabled her to finally feel genuine happiness. And similar to Silver, we hear it every time she's allowed to be herself and let go of the burden on her shoulders.
If we put out this flame, Solaris will never exist. And then we'll never have to worry about the flames of disaster.
Dude, I can't. This music director is popping off. If I wasn't sick, I know I'd be fanboying so much more.
Right?
If you didn't know, now you know. 06's soundtrack is just goated. Like if we're talking leitmotifs, it's still unmatched today in terms of quality or quantity. And even besides all that, just look at the effects it had on Sonic music going forward. And I haven't even gotten to the best part.
That's what I was saying.
Remember Sonic's leitmotif? I haven't been showing it, but you hear that thing a lot. You hear it when you start the game, when you finish a stage, when you collect an item. Repetition is the name of the game. By hearing the leitmotif over and over again, it sticks with you to the point where you just expect it. So when you hear it in the final boss, it just feels right.
This is, for me, I think it's the same effect as during the final fight in an anime when they play the anime OP. And you guys saw the first season of One Punch Man? If you did see that final fight, then you probably know what I'm talking about. Or heck, even the final fight in Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. The reason why that'll always stick in my memory is because of the song. And that's my Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann reference in this video.
Playing an orchestral version of the theme you hear when you open the game is just such a genius way of tying everything together and packing the whole game in this neat little package in the form of a musical phrase. God, and it's not like the boss just starts with this playing. The first phase has this moody, dark piece with prayers showing how powerful Solaris is. His world does—
Well, I mean, we've already saw that scene with Shadow. It's all associated with the story and the current stance of each character. Whether the tides begin to shift, that's when the theme starts to shift. You can't just start off with it, you know? If you did, I don't think it would have the same impact.
Doesn't even start till the second phase where Sonic has the upper hand, so it actually feels earned. And this carries over every single time they do this. It's so climactic, it's so fucking goated, bro. This isn't exclusive to Sonic or anything, but it's my favorite musical trend, and I hope they never get rid of it. Oh man, fuck you.
What the hell happened in Sonic Forces?
The next two games don't have a lot of leitmotifs. Colors only has two, and one of them is Eggman, so it's technically just this one. But the reason I consider these to be special is because I think they're the best at actually using these leitmotifs. Because again, the best thing about a leitmotif is the amount of shit you can just do with one. And although we had some great ones like Merlina and Shadow and fucking Zavok. Often than not, they're just there for you to recognize and establish a sense of familiarity. And don't get me wrong, that's already pretty good. Most don't even get that. But imagine if we had some deep-ass, I'm talking Star Wars, Undertale level, narratively driven soundtracks.
Star Wars
bro, you know
Undertale.
What I mean? Like 06 was the closest thing we had to this simply because of how many moving pieces there are. 3 storylines, multiple character arcs, antagonists, fuck ton of lore. Scale-wise, it's the biggest Sonic game we've ever had.
Yeah, just a little too ambitious. Funnily enough, I'd actually compare the scale of Sonic 06 to what they attempted to do with Three Houses. There was a ton of features that were reportedly supposed to be in Three Houses that they ended up scrapping because they couldn't fit all of it into the same game. And because the scope was so wide, there are a few bits and pieces here that are a bit janky, and I feel like could have definitely used more polish and care. But I honestly don't know if the game would be better if they had lessened the scope. For Sonic 06's case, though, I think the game would be better if they had attempted less. But then, you know, in hindsight, maybe the future games wouldn't have been as good as they are now if Sonic 06 didn't fumble so hard.
When you put that next to colors, obviously it's gonna look pathetic. The number of leitmotifs are incomparable. Colors only has 2 because it only needs to. The plot is simple as shit. Sonic saves aliens from Eggman. We got 2 groups of characters that affect the story, each represented by a leitmotif.
The heroes.
I have to admit I'm a little scared. I don't think we can beat this guy. Stay on the ground, buddy. Sonic, no!
Really, nothing will stop me.
Unless the tides shift.
What are you calling nothing?
Oh my god. Bruh.
Since Eggman is the only villain, they play this before each boss fight, so you associate all of them with him. It's the simplest way to use a leitmotif, and you can probably guess what happens after Sonic beats each of them.
Alright, bro, we get it. His theme plays whenever he wins the fight.
Let me cook, motherfucker, I'm getting there. It's gonna be cool. Fuck. Okay, yeah. On the surface, this is Sonic's leitmotif playing whenever he wins the fight. Basic shit, but it's not just about that. Because as I've said, the main leitmotif doesn't always represent just him. So this isn't just about Sonic beating Eggman.
So, are all the aliens getting free?
Looks like it. Once the power went off, the locks vanished.
It's about the Wisps.
The Wisps?
Sonic's friendship with the Wisp is the main driving force behind everything that happens in this game, and is what Sonic's leitmotif actually represents.
I see.
Freedom. So every action you do in the game that works towards that, beating Eggman, destroying generators, finishing a level, they're all representative of Sonic's journey of freeing all the aliens.
Hold a whole planet?
Well, it's tiny, but still, yeah.
Okay, fine. 5 generators? Well, I've already leveled 2.
So, if my math is correct, that leaves us 3 more of those bad boys to take out. They're saying it was either ice cream or a tractor beam.
Yeah, well, I'm going to guess it was an ice cream. Dude, I'd get 2. Now, if everyone will excuse me, I'm going to put a stop to these renovations.
As you tear down everything with Eggman's face on it, his leitmotif also becomes less and less prominent. By the end of it, you're not even hearing that shit. Well, until, you know.
Until, yeah. I mean, he can't go down that easy. saved by the wisps.
Every single wisp that Sonic has saved throughout the game comes back to save him when he needs it. There is nothing complex about this. It's a basic thematic role switch. There's nothing to it. But Colors uses the simplicity to harken back to Sonic's core values of freedom and friendship.
I mean, not all stories have to be complex. In fact, you could argue that it's better for it to not be complex because then it widens the range of people who can enjoy your story and truly grasp the core fundamentals that you wish to convey. I think it was actually a really smart choice from the music director to not go super hard on the leitmotifs. I'm sure there were plenty of tracks in this game, and I don't know if there was like some sort of hardware limitation to it as well. But definitely an important part for video game OSTs is to match the game at its own pace. And I think that's more so the reason why the leitmotifs are much less here and much more simple, but utilized very eloquently.
He said, thank you for saving us.
You're welcome. Thank you for saving us.
He says, you are welcome.
This one leitmotif is...
Also, I want to add, I don't think I've ever really heard Tails speak before. To me, he feels kind of precious. He's like a sweet kid that must be protected at all costs. But he's also kind of got that perfect voice for turning up, you know? In that shonen anime where the protagonist goes from being this unreliable little kid to becoming the hero that the story needs him to be.
It's one of the reasons why Colors has such a strong identity. So strong, in fact, that we've been dealing with it for the past decade. Also, it is interesting how Sonic's theme is...
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Under our Sonic 06 video, I think a lot of you guys were talking about how after the failure of Sonic 06, the writing team never really spread out their wings as far as they did with that game for all the future games from Sonic, which is why the stories haven't been as complex or even attempted to be as complex, which is kind of a shame considering how much better Sonic games are now, at least from what I've heard from you guys. But you never know. Maybe the trend is currently changing with, was it Frontiers was like the latest game? I definitely think Sonic has a lot of potential, but obviously when it comes to making video games, there's also the corporate side of things that people have to consider too.
It's always changing while Eggman's stays the same. Huh.
Star Wars? The Empire is here. Until that freaking hedgehog.
Oh, come on, it's me! Of course I'm gonna talk about the opening. You know who you clicked on. As beautiful as this looks, it sounds amazing. It sets the stage, introducing the two main leitmotifs, Eggman's carrying over from 06 and Sonic's brand new one, which you can hear throughout the whole thing, jump in between them whenever one of them has the upper hand, almost like they're dancing.
Yeah, it's so fantastic. It's like a call and response. You can just hear the conflicting themes, even without the visuals. Eggman, what have you done?
Not
Literal
just
Death
Sonic,
Star.
Everything breaks. But it doesn't end there, because Eggman isn't the only antagonistic force Sonic has to face. There's another one.
A brilliant success! It's just as the Gaia manuscripts foretold!
By giving Dark Gaia his own leitmotif, the game separates him and Eggman into two distinct forces. It doesn't last long though, Dark Gaia collapses on himself and the focus quickly shifts back to the main threat.
Ah, Sonic,
Dark
that's
Gaia.
a good look for you. Festive. So long, friend.
After setting all that up, the game presents you with the journey.
Beginning of a new journey.
And that's just the opening.
Yeah, dang, dude. That hits so hard. And there's always this quality to music that is associated with outer space. I don't know if it's like a particular instrument or just a way that they mix the sound, but you could just tell that it was like, even without seeing the outer space shot, that it's something to do with space. There were just so many parts during that whole thing that reminded me of Star Wars, or at least made me create a mental image of that. So frantic, yeah.
That whole dancing thing with Sonic and Eggman I mentioned, that keeps up throughout the entirety of the game. These leitmotifs, they're involved.
If you all behave, I won't have to do anything nasty.
Till.
So, you dare to defy me, do you?
Hey, shift. There it is.
Yo, Eggman! Thanks for that little skydiving adventure the other day.
How'd you get here so quickly?
What? Eggman, what the fuck? It's Sonic's whole thing.
Dog. What? Now I ain't gonna waste your time, I didn't do that. By this point, you already know how it works. We got Sonic, his journey, represented by the goal, which is the broken planet, which is established in the opening with the little leitmotif playing over it. You know, it's like a whole fucking formula. It's a little thing we do now. It's cute.
Professor Pickle over at Spagonia University.
Spagonia? That's a continent over. An easy jog if the planet weren't broken.
No problem. My Tornado 1 will get us there in a flash.
Leave it to you, Tails. Let's get moving.
It's such a triumphant theme. Oh man, and it's able to convey so much. It's just sparking that sense of adventure within me. I'm sitting here grinning like an idiot, and I haven't even played this game, or any of these games for that matter. But the music alone just kind of makes me want to.
Now, according to my Twitter, follow me by the way, subscribe to, Unleashed is the most immersive Sonic game, and I think one of the reasons is because of how involved the soundtrack is. And nothing crazy, it's basic player feedback through music. Nothing about the story itself too, it's pretty simple, but it's engaging because the
Player feedback through music. For me, that was the entire reason why I loved every single second of playing Doom 2016. So I haven't played Doom Eternal. Might stream that someday here on the channel. But having the music adapt to the player input was such a genius idea. I don't think we're doing the exact same thing here. It might use the same principle pretty much, but having the back and forth happening both on screen and through the music just creates such a immersive and engaging experience. It's no wonder why most people responded with this game, because I think this idea is used in other Sonic games. Like, we've already seen some examples of that previously in this video. However, it almost seems like every single track that we've seen here is basically use that same idea, as opposed to a few select ones from the previous games.
The world it builds around all that is fucking cracked. Get it? Cracked.
Literally. Yeah.
I'm fucking good at this. Seeing progress in all these places you go. Places that have their own leitmotifs, by the way.
Ooh. Hold up a minute.
Small things like this really help. Like the whole thing with the E rank. If you do badly, the game just makes fun of you. But that shit is so funny. You should keep doing it. Hey, remember when I said Unleashed had 3 leitmotifs? Well, I lied to you, and you believed me, you goddamn idiot. Chip also has one. Kinda. Not, it's complicated. Because the character's leitmotif is tied to who they are, right? And at the start of the game, we don't know who Chip is. He doesn't know who he is. So there's nothing to go off of like the other ones. So when Sonic and Chip are looking for his identity...
Oh, that's a cool concept. I don't really think I've listened to any OST associated with a character that didn't know who they were, and then over time it evolved into a solid leitmotif or anything like that. Or maybe I have, and I just didn't realize that evolution of the theme. But now, once again, I'm curious as to the whole background process behind making all of these characters into a reality. I'm sure it definitely takes the experience to consider all of these factors, and well, obviously many different teams working on different facets of each character.
You might hear something.
Remember anything yet?
Nope.
Oh well.
But it doesn't go anywhere. They still don't know anything. Chip is still Chip.
What's wrong, buddy?
Oh, right. I'm just scared.
Scared? It's just another old temple. It doesn't look like there's anyone around either.
That's not what I mean. I remember now. All of it.
Everything's a lot more clear now. There's no confusion over who Chip is anymore. Like Gaia is finally awake. And one small thing though, so is the other guy.
Oh god. Man, this theme is so epic.
Yes, Dark Gaia, crush this insolent little hedgehog! Kick him to the outer limits of space!
I don't think Dark Gaia takes orders.
Kicks Eggman out of the picture and takes the stage as the main antagonist. From now on, it's...
Ooh. Oh, man, there are so many good moments in anime where the main villain just completely comes in and shuts down the main character's theme. Those moments are so powerful. I haven't seen Bleach before, but I think the greatest example definitely comes from that show. From a particular villain that I won't spoil here, but you guys probably know about them if you've seen Bleach.
It's just Dark Gaia.
Sonic, you've got to get up! Sonic!
It was broad daylight a minute ago.
Dark Gaia has regained its true power. The beast is complete. It's just as the Gaia manuscripts foretold. We're doomed. The planet is lost.
That won't happen. There's no way Sonic will let it end like this.
back into Sonic's theme. Yeah, there you go. Oh man, these transitions are silky smooth. You can hear suggestions of this leitmotif before it comes here. It's not fully complete. It slowly builds into it. Not as steadfast and scary now, are you?
Sonic, you must live.
Chip?
You see this one? This isn't Chip. It's like Gaia. Because of his experience with Sonic, Chip's godhood doesn't define him anymore. He's still the same guy we found under the windmill. Nothing's really changed. He's still just Chip.
I'll never forget you. I'll be here by you always. A part of the earth you tread.
Hello, you. Thank you for watching the whole thing. Really means a lot. Really. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I can't believe it, man. Honestly, I don't think I gave as much commentary as I wanted to this video, because listening to all this music just brought me on this journey. There were so many ups and downs and back and forths, and I'm inclined to believe the music director for Sonic games is a freaking genius.
First off, a massive shout out to Doggy Fresh, aka ALtheBoi. All the transcriptions, all the actual music theory stuff I was two-tone for, he took care of them. This video would just not happen without him.
Oh yeah.
An absolute goat. I've linked to all his socials, check him out, give him a follow. I'm not asking, just do it right now. Yeah, big thanks to him and you for watching. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one, right? Bye.
Not gonna lie, this was one of the best videos I've ever seen on YouTube. The clear breakdown of each leitmotif for every single game, explained in such a way that even somebody who's basically a filthy casual like me can still appreciate it. Doing something like that is hard, and I greatly appreciate the effort you put into this video, man. Once again, don't support me. Go and support the original creator. Link to that at the very top of the description. And please, if you have any particular tracks in mind that you think I should check out, I'll probably do it in my own time because we don't really do music reactions here on the channel. I'm not too confident that I'll have enough to say about them to actually make it worthwhile. Unless if it's like a game franchise that we're quite familiar with. But I definitely need to add some of the tracks that I heard in this video on my playlist. So yeah, help me out, my dudes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.